Well, I went into college as a finance major and I came out as a drama teacher, so I had a little bit of a switch there. Started my career teaching high school and middle school drama, and I did that for 5 years, and then oddly enough went back towards my finance and operations side and did that for many years. And then when I decided I missed theater, that's when I got back into community theater. So my undergraduate is communications with the certification to teach speech and theater, and then I have a master's in I think it's just in theater with emphasis on directing, I believe is the way they worded that. So most of my experience is in the community theater realm or the educational theater realm. Well, I was very familiar with the show. I've read the play in the past. I've never seen it performed, but I had read it before on a few occasions, and I also remember the movie from when I was growing up. I would watch it on Saturday afternoon TV, so I was very familiar with that. I was familiar with the story, which I like. I do enjoy Agatha Christie. I also really enjoy a big cast, so I liked that about this show. I also thought it would be very challenging for me as well as the actors, which is something that I was interested in. There's a lot to do between the large cast and a ton of different characters and at least 4 different dialects, if not more, depending on which direction we go on a few things, between the character development and the staging and keeping it fun and interesting and dynamic for the audience. I just thought it was a large challenge and I wanted to do that, and I was interested in the story and that. For the show, dialects will be important. Like I said, we have at least 4 at play, and some of the characters I'm going to give them the choice of which direction they go with it, so there could be more at play. Dialects are important. At the initial auditions, I don't want anybody to be worried about not being able to walk in right then and be perfect on a dialect. I would love to see some sort of an attempt at that, but by the time we get to callbacks, if you are called back in, do have to try it there, because I mean the end result, once we get on the stage, we do have to have something there. I am talking to a few people for dialect coaching. I actually have a lot of programs myself that I already own that relate to most of the dialects within the show, so I have materials to hand out on that, and then I've been researching some things on YouTube and some other free access places that we can get examples to work with, and speaking with people that may not specifically be dialect coaches but are very good at particular dialects. And so my hope is that we will work on dialects first. I actually plan, we've got a while until this show begins rehearsals. It doesn't begin rehearsals until January, but once I have the cast, we will meet early on one time to discuss character and dialects. We'll give them their materials up front on that, and then by that time, once I have my cast, I'll know what kind of help we need, and then I'm going to know who to call in as far as the friends that I'm going to call favors in for that. And I do intend to get people help and get them help before we even start rehearsals, so that they have time to work on that, and then have folks that'll come in and listen during rehearsals to be giving feedback, so it's not just me, because I'm not an expert on that, but to have even more than one set of ears coming in and out, because it'll be a lot and it's a big part of the show. So we've got plenty of time to work on it, but it is something that we do have to address in some way at auditions, because I need to know whether there's anything there that we can work with dialect-wise. Well, at auditions, I am specifically looking for characters. I think it was TNT used to have the tagline, "Characters Welcome." That's how I feel about these auditions, because again, it is a large cast, and I'm looking for interesting people, interesting characters. I'm wanting folks not to come in and just read what's on the page, but actually give me something. It's nice that with Kirkwood, they can look at the sides ahead of time, so they've got a little time to prepare with that. And I am not all that worried about whether or not they have it memorized or not. I am worried about whether or not they have thought about who they are, what's going on, and have actually spent some time to bring someone interesting into the game. So that's what I'm looking for, people that will take the time with character development, because again, it is a large cast play with a lot of people on stage at one time, and I think that's going to be key for our success. The way that I approach rehearsals is I don't waste time, and I don't want anybody to waste my time, so I'm going to come in very prepared. We don't start rehearsals till January, but I've already started my preparation, and I will. There's a lot to do. When I come in the room, I'm going to have my plan. I've already been working on most of my crew is set. I'm looking at set designs already so that I can begin the staging process early and be able to think that through before I come in. I'll have a lot of research. I'm already starting sort of an outline of things that I need to research and get down as far as the period and terminology used and all sorts of things, just the way the court system works. Old Bailey, it's totally different than the way ours works in many, many ways. So there's a lot of things for me to get prepared with before I come to rehearsals with the actors. And then, I get my ducks in a row ahead of time so that when I walk in, I want to have plenty of time to work with the actors. Not that whatever I come in with is going to be what we do. Everything always is flexible, and when you see it, it may not be what was in your mind ahead of time. You take input from the actors and you put all of that together. But I think in the realm of not wasting time, if I've got my plan before I get there, then that gives us a lot more time to work and tweak and work on things like pacing and the character development and really getting in there and getting something interesting rather than just having time to say, go here, go here, go here. Let's do that a couple more times and that's all we've got. So especially for this play, again, it's a large play, it's a large cast, and to keep it interesting, to keep it dynamic for the audience, I think we've got a lot of work to do. So I'm going to come in with a plan and be ready to attack that. Well, in my opinion, I think Witness for the Prosecution is actually a really fun show. I think there's a lot to do. So for all the actors that are considering coming out, don't get too much in your head. Try the dialects, we'll try different things, but just come out and try, because I'm going to be very open to a lot of what I see, and I just want you to come and be a part of it, because I think it's going to be challenging. I think it's going to be a lot to do for the actors, a lot to do for me in a fun way, and I think the audience is going to enjoy it. There's some nice twists that if you don't already know the story, people aren't going to expect, and just come out and give it a try.